We're just sitting it down.
It just started.
Okay.
Right?
Thank y'all for coming tonight. How many of you took class yesterday? My voice came back about an hour ago, kind of. So, good news is that I'm not talking the whole time tonight, so you don't have to listen to me the whole time. And say hello to everybody that watches on YouTube who didn't show up. They just got to fall into the trash can. All right, so tonight is a nutrition / let's show you kind of secrets of Inner Journey. And how many of you were able to do Inner Journey last year? How many of you were here last year with us? Great. Yes, Brandon, I'm calling you out. Mr. I just showed up to work out. That means you didn't listen to me at 7 p.m. last night. But Brandon was actually our male winner last year on body fat percentage change in the 6 weeks. Kirsten, if you know who that is, was our female winner. So, or actually, she was second place. Just kidding. Our female winner is no longer with us. She moved into Inner City,
Elizabeth.
Houston. Yep. So, basically, it's just 6 weeks of diving into what Inner Element is, kind of all the different facets of what we are, what we try to offer for you, and not just make it just in and out of class and never really getting to know us never really getting to know you, and helping you really see results over a 6 week period. That's the whole point. So if you haven't done measurements this week, if you haven't signed up for Inner Journey, does everybody know about Inner Journey? Let's just start there. Good. Okay, not one person raised their hand. That means all of you know what Inner Journey is, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. You have to participate tonight. All right. 6 weeks, transformation. Do your measurements this week. We have extended ones with Luke as well. But this is going to kind of dive into just different aspects that can really help you. And then Luke's going to dive into more of the nutrition side that can help you kind of see results in a 6 week period. Because it's no magic, like 6 weeks isn't the magic thing out there. So many places do 6 week challenges, and that's not our whole point of 6 weeks. It's more of just, that's a good time frame for you to be able to see a result in some form or fashion. If you lose 1% body fat in the 6 weeks, that is a great job, okay? So it's not like drastic change, and this isn't your big hype that's been on TV in the years past of, huge weight loss challenge and all that. This is what kind of transformation do you want? And that's why we want to help you set goals through this. So let's kind of dive in, not that way, this way. So 6 week challenge, April 15th, started Monday. We have another sheet on the board, so if you haven't got your name up on the tracker, it's ready to go with 50 more names. Make sure you register on the clipboard up front and got on the tracker. It's all the way up till Memorial Weekend. So it's an opportunity for you to earn amazing prizes for everything you do within our 4 walls. Okay, so we're gonna have lots of different prizes. We'll show you what that is in a second too. All right, so it's Inner Journey. So what? Well, we made this whole thing with you in mind. That's the whole idea, is we want you to see success. And what better way to see success than with numbers? Especially a lot of us are numbers people. So now let's go to the more mental side. How are your New Year's resolutions going? I know it's like April and we're bringing up New Year's resolutions, but how many have actually set New Year's resolutions this year, 2019? Good. I asked this, I think, last time that I asked this question. How many of you wrote them down? Okay. And then how many of you are still on track to reach or have already reached those goals? Still kind of on track? There you go, Carly. I like it. All right. And then otherwise, we have 2 of our trainers that are still going crazy every day, and their hands are the only 2 left raised. So, yeah, anybody else need packing? Good. All the way over here. Yeah, she does.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so that's kind of the question behind it. How are you feeling about where your body is right now, and where here comes summer body? That can be a rhetorical question. You don't have to raise your hand on that one. And then how are you still motivated as when you started, when you joined Inner Element? That's one of my big things as manager here is we want to keep you engaged, we want to keep you motivated, we want to keep things fresh and different and fun, and that's why we do all the different things that we do here. Do you still feel as motivated when you started? And if not, that's when we need you to come to us. Like, we're here to help you. So come talk to any trainer you feel comfortable with, really diving in and saying, okay, this is why I originally started, and I haven't seen this, or I hit a plateau here, or whatever. This is that kind of hump to get over, to get towards that. So it's also a check-in and a reset. How am I doing? Like I just said with those plateaus, if you get to a certain point and now you just feel like it's redundant, there's a reason why. And there's a lot of deeper reasons, who knows why. So we can help you kind of talk through it and see what's the difference. Where's the check-in? How can we reset? And then how can you continue to better? Say you walked in and you had this certain goal when you joined, and now you've reached it. Let's set up another goal. Let's help you look at these specific numbers. Part of our measurements is circumference measurements. Inches up, inches down. Sometimes inches up is good, So we need to help you figure out where those are and what we can do with it. All right. If you look at your little packet, the first page just kind of explains it's our mission statement. It's a little bit the deeper dive of everything that I just went over. Flip to the back side of that first page, and hopefully if you've been in Inner Journey the last 2.5 days, you've already looked at this. So I'm not going to go through one by one. You can read, but the point is pay attention when there's hyper classes, when there's a partner class. We're going to throw those back in coming up pretty soon. All right? Cowbell, like today. Hip belt. Hip belt's this Saturday. It'll say Inner 50 belt. Plan on those extra days, and that's how you earn extra points. The other reason behind it is that's what keeps it fresh and fun and different. I changed up last night's hyper with the finisher at the end, and if you missed it, you need to come ask to retake that class because it's that good. All right. How many of you were feeling that yesterday? Okay, good. Where are you feeling it? Everywhere. It's kind of the goal. So today and tomorrow we're breaking it up, and then Friday's cardio core. So back to last month's seminar. Most time in blue. You get bonus points for that. Paying attention to where your heart rate is. Heart rate monitor, wearing your heart rate monitor, wearing your hip belt, bringing your own heart rate monitor. I joked last night, but you'd be surprised how many loaner monitors we hand out every single day. We only have 30. I swear we use 20 of them a day. No joke, in 10 classes. So at least 2 a day. This is just getting you in that wonderful habit of I charge my monitor, I bring my monitor, I wear my monitor, I turn my monitor on, I sign up for class. We didn't add that one, but it's fun. Oh, wrong one. All right. Here's the extra fun things, and some that we've added different than last year, and some that are one-timers and things like that. Follow us on all 3 social medias. If you don't have them, no big deal. You may want to go get them just to follow us. It's really how you can stay in the know of what's going on. Aaron does most of our social media marketing, if not all of it, and we try and keep it as much of you and as personal as possible. We don't want to be someplace with all the hoopla marketing out there. We want it to be you and showing you what we do. So we try to hit all facets. We have Snapchat even. That's probably our lowest one. Facebook, Instagram, and then we have a YouTube channel, which these things are on. We're also working on kind of building content, both locally with us and each trainer, as well as kind of these things that we can use in different health promotion places and things like that. So you can see what we like to call our other type of marketing. All right. So subscribe on all those. Post a workout selfie. Take a picture. This is kind of like the main picture wall. If you can't tell, it's like the only graphic we put in here. There's a reason. I didn't want graphics galore everywhere when we designed this place. So bam, here's your Ultra logo, and then anywhere up front, take a picture, a selfie in your car after your workout. We don't care. Just post it. Tag us on Facebook or Instagram, and there's 3 extra bonus points right there. There's also the workout summary. There you go. I knew that one was more. I was trying to find it. 5 points, okay? So you get a summary every day in your email and or your app. All you have to do is screenshot it, or there's places on there where you can hit share and it'll tag it around. I find the easier way to just screenshot it and throw it up that way. Comment or like. We post stuff on all these different social medias every single day. We want you more active. If you don't know how algorithms work on social media, the more active you are, the more you're in the know, the more your friends are in the know, the more friends that come here, the more exciting your workout is, the more benefit that you have, because now you're not just competing with some stranger across the room, because you all know you compete in the back of your brains a lot of times out of that peripheral vision. Okay, now you're competing against somebody you know because it's making it more fun. And then help us out. Leave a review on Google, Facebook, Nextdoor, Yelp. We're in all those places. The more reviews, the better it just shares in the world. I can't tell you how many people call us and they're like, we ask, how'd you hear about it? Oh, I just Googled it. Oh, I just Googled it. Oh, I looked at your Yelp review. Oh, I saw this. Like, as much as we love to think that we are great word of mouth spreaders, I can't tell you how many people we went to Broadway don't even know from Spring Trails neighborhood that we're over here. Because guess what? I live in Spring Trails. If you don't have a reason and you don't shop at Kroger, you're making that U-turn on Rayford and you're going back to the rest of civilization. You're not going this way, okay? So many people are like, there's a restaurant over there, Woodson's? I'm like, yeah, like 10 times better than Sammy's. You need to get out of Spring Trails neighborhood. So it's just funny. So word of mouth, the more you can share, the more you can review, the more it helps us. All right, then our retail. Part of your $25 registration fee for Inner Journey pays for the Inner Journey t-shirt of this year, which we're holding out on you. JD's already designed it and it's awesome, but we're not gonna show you what it is until you earn the Inner Journey. So you'll get it the last week of May, and that's part of it. So you don't get points for that one, that's just part of Inner Journey. All those other shirts that we've over-ordered, if you buy any of those, or our amazing hats that have been sitting there a while, then you get extra points. Towels actually are down to 2 left, so if you want a towel, you better buy the last 2 to get those 4 points. They're on order. Hopefully they'll be here ASAP. Wearing them into the workout, that gets you extra bonus points. Because we know you're gonna go somewhere after your workout, which helps us out, which helps you out. And then we have those fancy water bottles if you don't wanna buy a $1 water bottle every time. But you can, you'll get points for all of that. Every time you buy a water, you get a point. There you go, all you daily water buyers. I love it. You get bonus points. All of our meals. How many people, raise your hand, have tried one of our new Icon meals yet? How many have not? You get to raise your hand. Try them, I promise, they're so good. A lot better, and guess what? They just all arrived today. So you got a free cooler full before they sell out within 2 days usually. I think we've sat with beef quesadillas up there for a week, and that's just because we accidentally over-ordered a few of those. So tonight, for showing up to the seminar, if only these 2 meals, okay, because you got 2 days to eat them. A beef quesadilla and a chicken parm are $1 off, okay? More than what it says on the little sticker thing, but try them. They're 2 minutes roughly in the microwave. Some of them we've taken home, like the quesadillas, and thrown them actually on the skillet for like a minute and a half. And it makes it even better because, you know, quesadillas are quesadilla, microwave over stove, stove's gonna win, okay? So, but they're all really good. If you don't know, every Thursday night, Icon Meals, Luke sends out a schedule, a menu, is what it's called, that gives you the weekly items that you can order, okay? The idea behind this is just, we want you making better choices, and Luke's gonna get into all that, but it's all about the better choices you make along the way. Well, as we know, this area doesn't have like the most healthiest of choices around here to choose from. Especially even 6 months ago, it was like fast food only and not even healthy fast food, okay? So that's our idea of bringing this in. It's not us just pushing, it's pushing, I want you to see results. And you can work out 6 days a week, but if you go home and eat horrible, you're only gonna see results this far. You're gonna see something, especially if it's been a while since you worked out, or this is a different type of workout for you. But we want you to see even further. So that's the idea behind this. We have subscriptions that gives you, if you order 10 a week, you get a meal free. And then we have just pre-orders on this. That's why we send out the menu to you, because then specifically you can order what you want. And then we have the grab and go items where we'll order the extras of what we know is more popular, or what we're learning is more popular, and those will be in the cooler for you to grab anytime. So, super easy. Muscle Milks, how many of you know that there's a new flavor of Muscle Milk up there? What is it? Coffee. Good. How many of you drink coffee every morning and love the taste of it when you make it good? Okay, so half of you. So those half of you need to go try the Muscle Milk coffee, okay? There's coffee, there's cookies and cream, vanilla, chocolate, light vanilla, light chocolate. And then there's these smoothie things that if you haven't tried those yet, they're frothy, but they're really good. You either love it or hate it, so let's put it that way. I like the strawberry banana, I hated the blueberry. Okay, so that was me. Try yours. And then how many of you tried our fancy popcorns yet? Buddy? 2, 3. I mean, try. Hey, how'd y'all like them? Did they run out real quick? Okay. You were worried about the girls. Yeah. Good. Didn't like chocolate?
No, it's good.
Okay. Good. How many of you tried cookies? Good. Thoughts?
I
Be
love
honest.
them.
Huh?
They're good.
You like them? Which flavor do you like the most
Peanut
so
butter.
far? Peanut butter?
Yep.
Good. I like snickerdoodle.
Microwave, 5 to 7 seconds.
That's another secret behind the secret. Because I mean they're protein cookies, guys, and protein's protein. You can only make it taste so good. These are good, but 5 to 7 seconds in the microwave, and then it's like, oh, this is like hot out of the oven cookie, and you didn't even know. So those are the tricks. Try them out. There's so many flavors of popcorn. We're out of the big bags.
Not in
Freedom.
the plastic, sorry.
Yeah.
Take it out of the plastic.
Yeah, please.
Please don't start a fire anywhere you have metal. All right. And then other new things. Guess what? You earned 6 points tonight. So if you took class today, go up there, write a bonus 6 on today's column. If you didn't take, you better put your name up there, and now you can add 6 points just for sending the seminar tonight. Fit kids, fit teens. How many people have kids or teens between the age of 7 and 18? Good. Keep your hands raised if they're not a member right now. If they're not, so yours are registered. Kim's got her kids registered for this, and Brandon, get your kiddo up here this summer, man. It's awesome. Derek's gonna be leading it. There's 2 camps. There's price breaks all over. So grab that info that I'm sure you haven't looked at up front yet.
I haven't.
That's how I know me. All right, and then what day is that? May 16th. That's
It's a
yesterday.
Thursday.
Just kidding.
May
May
16th.
16th, not April.
Yeah. It's a Thursday.
So put that on your calendar. We're gonna do basically a once a month live Facebook. I love that Luke and Aaron are gonna be the stars of that every month. Hop on there,
Best foot forward.
participate. Yeah. The best way to make that enjoyable is basically when people get on and actually make it a live. and
Please
not
get
just
on, or it's
watching a
just
live
Luke
video.
and I staring at the camera awkwardly.
Yeah. As
So
much
we can only do that for so long, and then it gets real awkward. So
Exactly. Question depends on how much sleep you have,
sure,
so.
if we answer this, it's a different.
All right, personal training package. You might have noticed this when you registered up front, but basically you have the opportunity anytime in the inner journey to jump on this. If you don't know, our normal personal training sessions, if somebody just walked up to most of us and said, hey, can I just do one training session? We'd say, sure, it's $100. That seems expensive. Part of it just comes from our experience and all the different things that we can really bring to it, and just how difficult it is to have one personal training session with a person. Really, to know you on a much deeper level, even if you've been in a ton of our classes, to know your exact ergonomics and how you bend and how you twist, it's tough. So we do discounts on our packages based on how often people come, and that can come down to $90 or $80 usually. So this one, we're dropping all the way down to $60 and $50 a session. It's basically do it ASAP. The intention was starting this week, but we'll extend it all the way through next week. And if you want one session a week during this inner journey, so they expire at the end of May 25, then it's $60 a session. If you want to do two times a week, then it's $50. And that's for members, non-members, you, everybody. So you feel free to jump on that, but it's just during this. You get 6 points for every session. And then if you want to do it with a partner, probably won't bring down those costs. Normally we would for a group, like I do a 2-person session on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and their price comes down lower. These are so low, we'd probably stick right there. But if you want to do it with a friend, you got that option too. Personal training can just take you so far. If you ever feel like, you know what I see the most is, I'm gonna demo a little bit, but when somebody comes in, and so yesterday, especially when it was a higher tempo, a high row is supposed to be just opposite of a chest press, so straight out and through, elbows here. All the time I see high rows like this. This can kill your shoulder, especially at a high, quick pace. It's more of a shoulder rotation. That's kind of a warm up or something to stretch out your shoulder. So to be able to stay in that high row, you really have to engage your core in a certain way, especially on TRX. Bring that elbow out and stay in a certain range of motion. So if you don't have that range of motion or your body's not used to it, you don't have that muscle memory, that's where you can work in personal training with just 3 or 4 sessions and really benefit. One thing I did when somebody won, I don't remember, but I did a husband-wife, and they would come in and squat. And so many times we'll see a squat like this. And you know, there's only so much that activates in your backside here and how much activates in your back. So it's really about getting that hip opening up. So we just kind of did 3 different sessions of opening up the hip only. You know, there's so many different things that can happen with personal training, and that's where JD really comes in his background and all the different kind of exercise modifications and rebuilding that's there. So he's our lead on that if you don't know, and then all of us do personal training. So there's options there. Nutrition, time for me to stop talking. Perfect. Welcome, Luke.
Seminar just got a lot shorter, guys. Yeah, you already head to Woodson's. Guys, going on nutrition, you get points for a meeting one-on-one with me. Obviously, you get more extensive measurements. Guys, you know with the Inner Journey, you get three site circumferences, weight, and body fat on the Omron scale that we have. The extensive ones, I do 7 site circumference, 9 site body fat caliper pinches. And I personally prefer the caliper pinches as far as judging body fat because it's what you see in the mirror as opposed to the scale, the electrical impedance. So I personally recommend that one, obviously. And then, guys, we have 2 options as far as the Icon meals. You guys have been hearing about that. The subscription side, you do get points for it. That is a commitment of 4 weeks. You get basically 11 meals for the cost of 10 each week. You're not limited to that many, so every 10 meals you get an extra meal. You can order 15, get 1 free, all of that. But minimum of 10 for 4 weeks straight. And as well as pre-ordering, guys, you can earn points by pre-ordering 1 meal. I suggest more, but a lot of people will do one for lunch, so 5 or anything like that. But you have that option if there's one that you particularly like, or if you need breakfast or whatever, you have that option when that menu comes out. You just hit respond, or you shoot me the email. Either way, it goes to me. So exactly what you want. Then we're going to get into the nutrition side of what are things that we can do on our own for this 6-week process. So one thing I'm not a believer in, I'm not a believer in cleanses or crash diets or these fad diets or anything like that. I believe in sustainability. I believe in lifestyle change. I don't believe that it's worth doing celery juice for 6 weeks. You'll lose a lot of weight, obviously. What are you going to do after that when you start eating food again? You'll blow right back up. So the sustainability side of it's what's really big in my mind. So what are things that we can do with that? Main one, especially with us working out, increase your protein intake. The diagram up here, I'll explain. The essence of it is increasing your protein when calories are equated has more fat loss and weight loss. So reaching your goals faster. If you came to my first nutrition seminar, which was months ago, but I talked about this and why this is because protein elicits more of what's called the thermic effect of food. You burn more calories through digestion when you eat protein versus anything else. So when we're looking at this is just an easy diagram. I'm sorry it's blurry. I did the best I could. The gray is standard protein diet. The white is a higher protein diet in a calorie equated study. Calorie equated means if one group is eating 2,000 calories, so is the other. It's equated based on their personal need or whatever. And then you see the word gain is there, but you also see it's on the bottom half of the graph, so they're losing. Between a 0 and 5% difference in protein. The standard protein does have a slight benefit, but as you go up, when you increase your protein by somewhere between 5 and 10% or greater than 10%, you see more of a weight loss, or the results you're looking for, fat loss. So with specifically in the 5 to 10, because there's also the 10% or greater, protein is still calories. You don't get to go eat the carnivore diet and quote unquote calories don't count. That's not how it works. But increasing your protein within moderation, very good, especially with how much we're working out, especially the type of working out we're doing in here. You need that recovery. You don't want to be sore all the time. So big thing, make sure we're getting it in. As well, this is just in general, guys, eating more satiating foods. This is a lot of stuff going on. I know you can't read it, so I'm gonna explain it. So they actually did a study of food satiation based on commonly eaten foods, and it's broken into a few different categories, 6 different categories being fruit, carbohydrate rich, protein rich, cereals with milk, because people do eat that, snacks, and bakery products. So the one that I want to start off with is actually the carb rich, and the number 1 satiating food across the board by 100% is potatoes. And it's a big thing of people, one, are, I won't say scared, but we're fearful of carbs. And 2, think about how much density is in a potato. Just think about density of food. So, long story short, you're gonna be fuller after eating a potato more than anything else. I'm not saying to eat that by itself, but it's very satiating. And when you actually break it down, don't go, French fries don't count. But a lot of it goes into the preparation. A giant potato, when you look at it from a calorie perspective, is not very high. It's not very high at all. So from there, protein-rich foods. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't know what a lingfish is. Imagine it's a type of fish, but that was the number one. That was the number 1 food, followed by beef steak. When you think about that, just in its essence, how dense is that food? A lot of this is just density. And we'll move on. Fruit. Of the ones that were tested, oranges were the highest, followed closely by apples. Then cereals with milk. That one was porridge or oatmeal. So that is very, very filling. You guys imagine density. One of my favorites, snacks, popcorn. Most satiating. Guys, that's also, some of these foods are what I like to call, and if you have sessions with me, volume foods. How much actual food can I get in for little calorie? You can have a lot of regular popcorn for not much going in. It's satiating. You feel like you're eating more when you're not. Where popcorn becomes an issue when we start adding the butter to it. Not an issue, but where you have to start paying more attention to it. You start adding the butter to it, all the extra things, and then finally, bakery products. These are your cakes, your donuts, things like that. Crackers were the number 1 in that. I say they're the most satiating in that. But if you look at the entire diagram of the group, it's the very bottom one. The last 6 or whatever, those are the lowest satiating. It's just what's most satiating of that group. So with all that being said, dense foods, eat potatoes, guys, they're delicious. I say protein in it. It's just an easy way or a good way to help you through this process and through your any kind of journey, especially if fat loss or weight loss is the goal. If you are not hungry, that's what satiation is. If you're not hungry, at that point we're just eating out of because we want to, because we're bored or anything like that. So if we're not hungry, that's the goal. If you are hungry, you're gonna want to eat. Next, learning a little bit. I hear this a lot. Sugar makes you fat. I say, and I will be honest. I used to believe it. I say the great thing about America is when I'm presented with new studies, new evidence, you can change your mind. So the next one is the sugar intake versus the obesity intake, or the obesity rate in our country. Both are on the rise. Something that I have Down at the bottom, it's a phrase I like to say a lot, is correlation is not causation. Sugar itself, and we'll get into it a little bit, but sugar itself is not making us more obese. The fact that we are eating more, and you see it in both sugar's on top, calories are on the diagram on bottom. The fact that we are eating more calories is what is causing the obesity rate to rise. With that said, sugar is more things, more available to us. Fast foods, convenient foods. They tell you that the grocery store is sharp the perimeter, the stuff in the middle. It's more available to us, and it tastes good. I get that, but the correlation doesn't make the causation. Sugar by itself is not what's causing the obesity epidemic, and we have a study here that shows it. So this study was taken over the course of 6 weeks. Two groups. One group, 4% of their total calories. It says energy. Remember, calories and energy are the same thing. That 4% of it came from sugar versus a group that had 43% of it come from sugar. But the key with any of these studies is that calories are equated. So both groups ate the same amount to their body type. They had scientists, nutritionists, whatever come in, put them on a plan, even took it a step further. These scientists weighed and presented them all their food every meal, as opposed to most studies, which is just recollection. I think I ate this type of thing. This variable is taken out, so exactly what they were getting was exactly what they were supposed to. Nothing left to chance. What it showed, guys, when calories are equated, it showed no changes in fat loss or weight loss. What this doesn't show is it wasn't a significant amount, but the group that was higher in sugar lost more weight. Not a significant amount due to science, but they lost more weight in fat loss or weight loss. Things they also saw, their metabolic rates there was no change in the two groups. Your metabolism is going to change, but comparing the two groups, no difference, same in behavior. Now this is just an example. Now something I'm not saying. I'm not standing up here and saying Pop-Tart greater than sweet potato, things like that. I'm not saying that. A couple things I am saying. A phrase I like to use a lot, and if you've met with me, you've probably heard me say it. I'd rather you eat the piece of cake now than the whole cake later. If having that Pop-Tart is going to satisfy a craving and prevent you from binging and eating a lot more later on, I would say at that point it is better than a sweet potato. But you have to look at it in correlation to what we're talking about. What sugar does do, and you saw it on the slides before, guys, it's not very satiating. Don't expect to be full from it in general. As well as but it doesn't have near the assistance of micronutrients, your potassium, your calcium, your vitamin A, all of these. Those are things that come from the unprocessed whole foods and what makes them very good. But when you look at it just from a results standpoint, a calorie intake standpoint, sugar's not making us fat. It's the same, 1 gram of carb from sugar is the same calorie as 1 gram of carb from a potato. Just you have to understand the gives and takes of it. You're not going to be as hungry, or you're not going to be as full, the micronutrients. But what I'm also saying is that piece of chocolate is not going to derail your entire process, your entire goal. Something I saw it on Instagram today, so follow me with this. It was a diagram of a chocolate bar, 2 chocolate bars, same one, Hershey bar on both sides, I just say it like that. And it said how, in reality, and it was like 250 calories. Something like that, I don't know what it is exactly. How we perceive it. 1 million calories is gonna make you fat. And it's funny, but it's true. It's how we perceive those things. It's just not the reality of the situation. There was another one that I talk about a lot, or I get asked a lot, not talk about a lot, intermittent fasting type thing, or time restricted eating. How many of us have heard no carbs or no food after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock? I'm sure we've all heard that. And it's the same kind of thing. It's like a picture of spaghetti on both sides, 300 calories at 5:59, 10,000 calories at 7:01. So it's the same thing. It's all about what you're doing over the course of the entire day. Got what you're doing outside of Inner Element. Inner Element's a 50-minute, give or take 1 hour workout. That's 4% of your day. What are we doing outside of that to make us better? And then we have, that's it for the nutrition side. But before we go on to that, questions on any of that or anything that popped up? It's okay if not.
It's a weird question, but you said the crackers, the saltine crackers.
Yes. Saltine crackers.
Not the Ritz.
Well, you never know. You gotta make sure.
I respect that. Any other questions?
How about the crackers?
When you have a label that says it's higher in saturated fat.
Higher in saturated fat. I'll say again, it's when you isolate one event versus an entirety of an event. Is it higher in saturated fat? Sure. Is that bad? Maybe. Depends. It depends. Are you having that every meal of the entire day and all your fats are coming from that? Maybe not ideal. Probably not ideal. So, but it's the same thing as the sugar argument. Are you going to get exponentially fatter from eating one food that's higher in saturated fat during that course of the day? No. I say, is it ideal for long-term health? Also no. So I hope that answered that question. A lot of nutrition guys is looking at it from an isolated event versus a macro perspective instead of day-to-day looking at it from a week or a month or anything like that. A lot of that comes, and I was actually just having a conversation about, so it's in my mind. We were talking about the time-restricted eating. If you weigh yourself in the mornings, you will 100% see a difference in your weight if you ate at 6 p.m. and stopped eating or 10 p.m. and stopped eating. It doesn't mean you gained more weight or fat. What it means is that you ate more recently. So it's put things into perspective. So when you take that out, when you back up a second and look at your results for a week or 2 weeks or however often you check in with yourself, what's the progress look from there? Weight fluctuates daily, but what trend are you on? That's the biggest key to that. When it comes to nutrition, it all comes down to your daily energy intake, your weekly energy intake, energy meaning calories. It comes down to that. If you're trying to gain weight, you've got to be in a surplus. If you're trying to lose, you've got to be in a deficit. It's what it comes down to.
What's like would you ever suggest like calorie counting? What's like your view on that?
Honestly, I personally think that at a certain point in everybody's life, they should do it. And that's just to learn what your food is, what is in the food you're actually eating.
What did Derek ask?
If I recommend calorie counting.
Oh, okay.
I'll say, as a long-term solution, the answer is no, I don't think so, because I don't think it's a sustainable lifestyle to sit there and track every single thing that you put in your mouth of every day. But in the short term, learning portion sizes, learning how it works, learning what's actually in the food you're eating, I think is very beneficial, and just having that knowledge. And then in the long term, moving away from that, understanding your portion sizes, and going into more of an intuitive eating, understanding your body, getting those hunger cues back. Something that I've started speaking to a lot in my sessions is how we've lost touch with our hunger cues. And it starts from an early age and it's no one doing anything wrong because my parents did it. I'm sure I'm gonna do it if I'm ever a father, but how often have we heard to finish your plate or things like that? So when we're told these things growing up, it continues the whole nature versus nurture thing, guys. You learned that certain way to, I know I did, finish what's in front of you. Well, when we go out to eat or anything like that, how big are our portion sizes getting? Now we have the mindset that we have to finish our plate, and we start losing touch with what our body actually is telling us. So that's a big key of that. And with the portion sizes, if you guys look in your packets, I did give an easy hand model of what things should look like on your plate. And this is in general, it's all gonna be individualized, but if we're going to be general, that it should look something along the lines of that. When you look, it's your palms, your protein. Women, I'm sorry, you're about half of what a male gets, so male get 2 hands, women get 1. But again, it's all individualized. Same thing with carb. I believe it's a fist of carb. I say what it doesn't have. I don't think I have it in there, but vegetable, I do an open hand. Do I have vegetable? Ah, there you go.
You got vegetable and fat.
There you go. Yeah.
All 4.
Thumbs for fat. I can't remember if I did vegetable. Thank you. But guys, that's an easy hand model to take into consideration when you're making your plate, anything like that. Also, one thing I'm not saying to do is have all your food, my protein here, my vegetable here, carb. You know, still enjoy your food, have recipes, enjoy the jambalaya, the crawfish, all this stuff. But just understanding what you're putting into your body, and again, doing that at home, it kind of comes hand in hand with what Derek asked of calorie counting or anything like that. If you do it at home and understand at home what a piece of meat looks like how much should I be getting, type of thing. Does that make sense? Perfect.
So those 4 pages of your portion sizes there go along. It's kind of a sneak peek of what Lucas put together called an accountability binder. Just kind of give them a little tease on that and let them know they can get that now and how that works.
Sharon, it's available now.
All lines are then.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, the accountability binder, don't have to have it just for if you're doing nutrition sessions with me. It's a way to keep you accountable. What things that are in it are, if you've done it with me, I do a weekly check-in type of thing. But it's a weekly check-in with yourself at that point. How am I doing on my goals? Have I had anything that maybe I forgot that, oh, I'm up a pound. I also started taking this medication because I got sick. Things change. It's a way to keep yourself accountable as well as realistic. A lot of times, how many of us have had a steroid shot because we got sick? That will cause water retention, things like that. Understanding why things are happening as well. And then it has the hand model in there. It has pretty much anything that you can think of as far as a diagram. I have it, and it's in there. And if I don't have it, and there's one that you want, I'll create it and put it in there. So I have a lot. I hold a little bit back for you just so you can come in and see me. But the long story short of it is it's a bit of self-accountability. How can you make yourself a better version of you? And accountability is a big one, and being accountable to yourself is huge. Then,
What's your opinion? I've been studying the past couple weeks to months of just the certain foods for my blood types that are better for me than other things. Do you go in depth on what do you feel about that? Do you go in your sessions in depth on?
I haven't as far as blood type eating. I think is it you can get your blood type tested, things like that, see what's best for you. I personally say for that, if you want to do it, fantastic. If you don't, trial and error is just as good. That's my biggest thing on that. The one thing that people always think is that biology is special. Guys, you're not that special.
Alrighty then.
I know he said, he said you're not that
That's
special.
your takeaway tonight.
Absolutely. On a biology standpoint, not that special. Each and every one of you is special in your own way. But guys, no, what I mean by that is that everything, you're more than likely, I guess there's a 0.1% chance, more than likely you're not an anomaly. It can be, whatever it is can be explained in some kind of way through science, through thermodynamics of whatever is going on with you, whether it's hormonally or metabolically speaking, how's your metabolism, anything like that. That's what I mean by that. I do think you're all special. I'll say a lot of what I was talking about today was coming from the popcorn. And if anyone has looked at it, guys, I realize there's 272 calories in a serving. I realize that there is 24 grams of sugar in a serving. A lot of that is on purpose because you have to eat it how it's made. Again, it's keeping everything in perspective. I have a slide for this. Hold on.
Yeah, it didn't get put up there, that's why
Never
we're,
mind.
eating the popcorn.
I had a
I'm
slide.
reminding you that the slide is there.
Ah.
so.
My bad.
Luke had clients on afternoon, so
Yes.
that slide just went.
It was a great slide.
Yeah. Trust me on
Left
buy
out.
all the
This is
popcorn.
what it looks like,
Yeah.
and I had some notes for him.
Yeah. But I'll say the main thing of it is what are rhetorical question I'm gonna answer. Two things that traditional quote unquote healthy food lack. We get a sweet tooth and texture. The popcorn covers both, and that's what it's made for, is curbing a craving. We a lot of times miss out on the sweet, miss out on the texture of the crunch. I know a lot of times even I crave chips or whatever. I also eat chips, so it's not that bad. But it's made to curb that craving. It's made for post-workout, getting quick sugar, quick carbs into your system to help replenish and start the muscle glycogen process of rebuilding, making us better to recover, more muscle, lean muscle, things like that. So it's made with a purpose. What it's not made to do is sit there and eat an entire bag while you watch a movie. So, and that's the big thing from it. We brought it in to fill a purpose to help you curb that craving, help you have something that you can reach to, feel confident in when you use it correctly. It's one of those things you can grab a handful, because a handful of popcorn is probably less than an actual cup. But it's to grab that and have something that's beneficial for you to help you in the long run.
Yeah, it's the idea of 2 servings, 4 servings. And if you really look at it as servings, a snack is what helps you build your metabolism. The more often you eat, this is gonna fill that, like, oh, I want that sweet at night before I go to bed. You know, those are the ideas behind this. Both the cookie and this is just a quick replacement, but also a filler of the mental aspect of what we normally crave, just as that non-unique human being.
Everyone's unique.
Just not special.
Yeah, just not special. Nailed it. So, any other questions on that? Don't dig too deep, Derek. I see you thinking.
The other thing that nutrition's gonna roll out and is available now, if you're interested, Sharon got to be our guinea pig, is a grocery store tour.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Exactly.
Hang out with me.
So,
Make you feel a little special.
yeah, it's one-on-one or family or whatever, but literally whatever you shop at, you know, we'll have available at H-E-B, Kroger, and
Stretch all the way to Walmart.
Luke's stretching to Walmart as well. Hey, I shop at Walmart for my groceries.
There you go.
Basically, where there's kind of 2 avenues you can take on it. It's the educational side, or you can come and if you have that grocery list and it's helping you find the best routes of this is what I normally eat, you know, for my family. and those kind of ideas. So it's kind of step one, step two is the thought process. It's step one, get educated, learn it. But then step two will be, if you want them to come with you and help you shop, Luke's gonna turn into your personal shopper, but you gotta be there with them.
Shopping
Sorry.
first.
And I made him push the cart.
Did you write it in?
Yeah. So, any questions nutrition wise? All right. Now we'll move to the prize slide. And really, Aaron, you should be the one presenting this. Aaron's gone around and gathered all these prizes, and more are coming. So, cast iron grill, if you don't know, originally, right when we first opened, our meals were provided by the Runaway Plate. And unfortunately, just the shelf life and that didn't work out. But as you know, hopefully they've opened another restaurant in front, Cast Iron Grill. So they donated gift cards, Rustic Rush, Lululemon, and Woodson's. So, and there's lots more we've already reached out to that have said, yes, we're gonna do stuff. But we'll have a top male and female winner for cash prize, and that is basically the most body fat lost. And then something fun we did last summer that we started, and we'll start doing again here and there, maybe once a quarter. But this one's gonna be a special invite. So the top 30 people with the most points will get invited to a special 75-minute class, which is a lot of fun. It's crazy, but it's awesome. So if you want to experience that and get all of these points built up. And hopefully you see this is just a fun game. All of us love to play a game of how can I really dive in to actually see what we want to see. That's the whole point of Inner Journey, and we want you to use us as much as we're here to help you guys. Questions overall? All right, come join us at Woodson's. That slide is all the way back at the beginning.
You know, I did my best, y'all.
Oh,
Did my best.
So,
It's a lot
Thank
trickier
y'all.
than
If you do have questions, let us know. All right. Thank y'all for coming tonight.